Hi everybody, it's Gail Kavelman from Tempsford Library. Tempsford Library is one of the 14 branches in Oxford County Library. Today is Family Literacy Day, and all the staff are participating in our Family Literacy Day, sharing their favorite songs and stories and different things about travel. We're traveling the world from home today. This book is called Curious George Takes a Train. It's one of our many Curious George books, and not only is Curious George one of my favorite book characters, but I love trains. In 2012, my husband Robert and I took a trip. We went up to Sault Ste. Marie and got on a train, just like the train in this story, and we went to Agawa County. It was great fun. I hope you're having a wonderful day sharing your stories with people you love about how you like to travel and places you've been and places you'd like to go. So have a great day, everyone, and I hope that you'll enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Happy Family Literacy Day from Norwich. I'm Beverly and I'm your host for our first virtual road trip from the Norwich Public Library to your home. And the book I wanted to share with you is our guide. It's also called Road Trip by Roger Eckelbauer. Let's pack our imagination up and head across the country. Here, just like in the book, we're heading across the country in our minivan. And this book is great. It's set in rhyming verses, complete with silly songs, card games, and more. So when you head out on your pretend vacation, check out Road Trip from one of our 14 public libraries in Oxford County. Pack your imagination, your pretend minivan, and see what adventures await you and your crew. Happy Family Literacy Day from Beverly to you.
Hi everyone, my name is Betsy and I work at the Princeton Public Library. When I read about different places around the world, I like to find out about local nature. As I was looking for a good book to tell you about, I found this one. It's called The First Animal Picture Atlas, and in it you can learn not only about different places around the world, but some of the animals that live there. You can see this is the map of Canada, and there are some animals and where they live around the world. Sometimes in learning about animals, we don't think about how rare some types are. And in this book called Don't Let Them Disappear, it talks about 12 endangered species from around the world. And in this one, you can learn where they live, why they're becoming endangered, and some interesting facts. Did you know that the blue whales are the largest animals in the world? Or that sea otters wash their paws after every single meal? Check out this book and many others to become the expert in your family.
Hi, I'm Leslie from the Ingersoll Library, and my book recommendation for Family Literacy Day is A Race Around the World by Carolyn, Starr, Rose. It is a book, the true story about Nellie Bly and Elizabeth Beisland, two ladies that vow to race around the world in record time, while trying to beat one another while one of them doesn't actually know the other one is trying to beat them, if that makes sense. I really enjoyed this book. It is a non-fiction book, but it is actually read just like a picture book. So it's read like a story, which is really quite nice for young readers especially. My girls really enjoy it. You can find it in the non-fiction section in the 900s. It's on our catalog and it's fantastic.
Happy Family Literacy Day. My name is Kathy and I'm the branch supervisor at the Plattsville Public Library. Since Valentine's Day is only a few weeks away, I have chosen the board book, I Love My Canada Valentine. This book shows places I have been, the Toronto Zoo many times, Moraine Lake in Alberta, and Stanley Park in Vancouver, British Columbia, which I visited when my husband and I took a road trip west in 2012. Seeing the East Coast is on our list for another road trip to see beautiful Canada, which we love. Since you cannot physically travel right now, you can pick up many books about Canada from the library, including Good Morning Canada, which I love reading to my grandsons.
Hi everyone, my name is Ryan and I work as a library technician at the Oxford County Library, and in celebration of Family Literacy Day 2021 and Travel the World from Home, I'm sharing a book called Jantje and the Beanstalk, which is Jack and the Beanstalk in Dutch. I picked up in the Netherlands several years ago. So this is a pop-up book about Jack and the Beanstalk. And the first line reads, was eens een kleine jongetje, hij woont op een kleine boerderij samen met zijn moeder. And that translates to, there once was a young boy and he lived on a farm with his mother. And so In the spirit of the Dutch Jack and the Beanstalk, check out our Dutch collection. We have a Dutch collection of adult books. And of course, we have many formats of Jack and the Beanstalk in English in our collection in ebook, audiobook, and regular format. Check it out, and thanks for joining us on Family Literacy 2021.
Hi, I'm Jane, and I work at the Embro Public Library. The book that I chose to highlight is called Horses and Ponies, and it's a level 3 reader. The reason I chose this book is because I love horses, and I've enjoyed riding and showing them for many, many years. People have been using horses for transportation and work for more than 5,000 years. This book talks about the different horse breeds and how to take good care of your horse. Did you know that there are more than 200 different breeds of horses? I learned that horses have the largest eyes of any land animal. If you want to learn more about horses, be sure to check out this book or one of our other many books that we have at Oxford County Library. Happy Family Literacy Day.
Hi, I'm Louise at the Innerkid Public Library. My sister and her family live in Central California, so when we go to visit, one of the places we really like to travel to is the Monterey Bay Aquarium. We just find it a great place to see the marine life of the area. And outside the aquarium, there is an area where you can walk and look right over into the bay. And it's fascinating to see the creatures there, and including sea otters. And this story is from the Tales from History series. It's called A Sea Otter to the Rescue by Thea Feldman. It's just a really nice true story about an otter that was at the aquarium needing treatment. And then it went on to help orphaned baby otters who didn't really know how to care for themselves, and this sea otter was able to train them so that then they could successfully go back into the wild. And it's just a great story that I think children would enjoy, especially if they like to learn about creatures in the wild or creatures from other areas. And it's just a nice, uplifting story.
Hi there, I'm Shannon, the Program Service Coordinator at the Ingersoll Library, and I wanted to share with you this really cool book called Life Size Rainforest, and it's written by Anita Guarneri and Stuart Jackson Carter. About 5 years ago, I was lucky enough to travel to the rainforest of Ecuador, and I got to see a lot of these creatures in person, and this book does a really great job of capturing what they look like and their actual size. So it has some really stunning pictures of what some of these rainforest creatures look like. This is a junior nonfiction book, so it's all full of true facts. And this picture is a Queen Alexandra's birdwing butterfly, which I got to see when I was in Ecuador. And as you can see, in this book, they are life size, and it is as big as my hand. If you're interested in traveling to the rainforest from home, you can also check out the picture book, Rainforest Animals, written by Paul Hess.
Hi everyone. I bet you don't recognize me. It's been so long since I've seen you. Oh, it's Deb from Tavistock Library. I just want to encourage you to keep reading all winter long. I was just busy reading this book, The Next Best Thing. It reminds me of when I used to swim in the Caribbean. So maybe you guys, for family literacy, could find maybe another book that would take you on an adventure. This is The Frog Who Wanted to See the Sea. So remember, you can always go on an adventure with a library book. So have fun on Family Literacy Day and find your own book to go on an adventure. See you soon.
Hi, my name is Merle, and I'm the community librarian at the Tilsonburg branch of the Oxford County Library. And this is my book suggestion for Family Literacy Day. It's been a while since a book gave me shivers, and there was a moment when I was reading The Barren Grounds by David A. Robertson when that happened. It combines elements of Narnia-like fantasy, Indigenous experiences, and characters who are going to capture your heart. This chapter book is worth a read. This is the first book in a new series about two Indigenous children, Morgan and Eli, who find their way into another world, Aski, and the village of Misiwa. Morgan and Eli are both in foster care, and at first they don't get along very well. Morgan has been there longer, and Eli is new. Morgan is wrestling with a lot of anger, and Eli is silently grieving the family that he's missing. When Morgan's anger threatens her chance of finding stability in this new foster care situation, Eli comforts her, and they begin to start building a connection. And as part of that, Eli gives her a gift of one of his drawings, and that drawing opens the door into ASCII and to the village of Misiwa. And the village of Misiwa is in trouble because it has been winter there for many seasons, and the village, which is made up of these talking animal creatures, is starving. And so together with Ochek, who is a fisher, which is kind of a ferocious animal creature. I'll look it up so you'll know what it looks like. But he is the village's only hunter. So with Ochek and with Eric, who is a really kind of smart talking squirrel, Morgan and Eli go on a quest to restore summer and save the world of ASCII and the village of Misiwa. There's a lot of humor wrapped up in this story, as well as adventure. There are some moments where real healing happens, and it's quite beautiful. There's also really good lessons from Indigenous knowledge about our relationship with the land and only taking what you need from the land. The book doesn't shy away from some of the difficult experiences of Indigenous children in foster care, particularly as they're struggling with the loss of family and culture, but it does so with a really gentle and some beautiful storytelling. That first moment where they glimpse ASCII and the village of Misiwa, that's the moment that I got shivers. And it made me really excited to finish the book and to find out what happened next. And honestly, I really can't wait to see what comes next in the series when it's written. I hope that you will enjoy checking out The Barren Grounds by David A. Robertson yourself.
Hi, I'm Vicki Brenner. I'm a library technician at the Ingersoll Library, and I'm participating in Family Literacy Day. My reader's advisory pick for a book for families to read together is Hatchet by Gary Paulson. This is a Canadian story of a 13-year-old boy who is stranded in the wilderness and must learn to adapt and survive on his own. It's a story of growth and personal achievement, and above all, hope, which I think we can all use in these times. Try it. It'd be a great family read-along. I hope you enjoy it.
Hi everyone, I'm Jenna, and I'm a clerk at the Tillsonburg Library branch. The book that I'm recommending for Travel the World from Home is called Best Friends Forever by Margot Hunt. It's her first psychological thriller, but it takes place in Florida, and the two best friends traveled to a resort for a weekend. They were lounging on the beach with the waves crashing and the palm trees swaying, and there was just little flags on the back of the chairs that they got to raise up if they needed a drink refill, and it just really made me want to be there right now.
Hi, I'm Kathy Eastman from the Harrington Branch Library, and I'm doing a reader's advisory today on a book that I've haven't quite finished yet, but I'm 3/4 of the way through and enjoying it. And it's called The Book of Lost Names by Kristen Harmel. And I enjoy reading historical fiction, especially books set in the Second World War, dealing with the Jews and Nazi invasions. And this one is not disappointing. It starts off in Florida with a librarian named Eva. And we find out that Eva has a story. And she is intrigued and moved by a photograph she sees in a local newspaper about a book. And it turns out this book is a book of lost names of children that were smuggled out of Nazi-occupied Paris and into Switzerland, and hopefully to freedom. So Eva is caught up in this. She is living with her parents in Paris, and they know that things are changing for them as Jews in Paris, and so they are trying to make plans to leave the area. But before they can do that, the father is arrested and they never see him. And so the mother and the daughter have to figure out a way to safety. And it's discovered that Eva has a real talent for art. She's very artistic, and she's also very good at forgery. So she's able to create false papers for her and her mother, and they have connections, and they are sent to a village in France, a remote village. And it's there they get, Eva especially gets connected with the underground resistance, and they recruit her to be the person that helps with the forgeries for false papers to get people out of danger. So one thing that strikes Eva as she's making these papers for children is that they'll be lost, they'll be erased, that they won't be remembered. And so she devises a plan with a fellow resistance member to have a code, a way to track the children's real names. And so eventually these children can be found and family can be relocated with them. So I'm right in the midst of it. I haven't gotten to the end yet, but there's something coming. I think there is someone who's just entered the resistance that's going to betray and cause all kinds of problems for them. So I just want to encourage you that if you're interested in that type of book, historical fiction set in the Second World War with spies and resistance and lots of suspense, then you might enjoy this book as well, The Book of Lost Names. Thanks a lot for listening.
Hi, I'm Shelley, and I'm a substitute supervisor at the Brownsville and Harrington branches for OCL. We're doing a series about travel, and it prompted me to pick up this book called Backroads of New England by Kim Burklas. It's really a trip down memory lane for me, having done a bike tour through many of the New England states, admittedly decades ago. But the pictures brought back to mind good times along the rocky shoreline of the Maine coast, and more than anything, encouraged me to think about Vermont again, a favorite state, and the still unseen treasures there, things like the photographs that Bentley did of snowflakes. That collection proved that there are never two snowflakes that are alike, and things also like the view from Mount Equinox, things I haven't enjoyed yet and hope to. So I encourage you to pick up this book and see what might interest you. Happy dreaming.
Hi everyone, it's Danielle from the Norwich Public Library, and the book I've chosen today is From Homestead to Community, A Woman's History on Western Manitoulin. It is a wonderful, quick, easy read. It's nonfiction, and one of my favorite parts of this book is all the black and white photos that are included in it. It really gives you the strong sense of community that the women had when they were pioneering Manitoulin Island. It's a very humbling and eye-opening read, and I highly suggest it if you're looking to learn more about Canada's wonderful history. Thanks very much, and have a wonderful Family Literacy Day.
Hi everybody, my name's Crystal and I work at the Ingersoll Library. I have a recommendation for Family Literacy Day. So my pick is We Have Always Been Here by Samura Habib. She actually won Canada Reads 2020 with this book. But I recommend it because it was a fascinating read about Samura and her journey from living in Pakistan and moving to Canada as a refugee. And having to sort of adapt to Canadian culture, and it's very different from the culture in Pakistan, as she describes. So she had to learn new values and sort of explore her religion and sexuality and question a lot of things that she learned when she was growing up. So I thought it was very good for everybody to read. So that's We Have Always Been Here by Samura Habib.
Hi, my name's Holly and I'm the Literacy and Innovation Specialist at Tillsonburg Branch. And my favorite way to travel is to go for a hike. I love to hit the local trails. When I go somewhere else in the world, I love to know where is the most scenic place for me to go for a nice long hike. And that's why I'm going to share this book with you today. It's called Adventures in Opting Out, A Field Guide to Leading an Intentional Life by Kate Flanders. It was published at the end of 2020, so relatively new, by Little Brown Spark. And it's a book about how Kate decided to opt out of quite a few things in her life. She opted out of drinking and drugs. She opted out of shopping for 2 years and did a 2-year-long shopping ban in order to save money and pay off her debts. But this book is mostly about how she decided to opt out of living in a permanent place, of having a permanent home, a permanent address, and instead decides to write in other places of the world and travel full time. She talks about writing in Wales, which sounds absolutely picturesque, and I would love to go back to Wales right now if we could. And it's ultimately a self-help book that uses navigating a trail in order to facilitate some self-reflection on what are the culturally acceptable cultural norm paths that we're just automatically going down, and maybe we should do some reflection on if one of these isn't working for us, and that we should opt out of something in our life in order to be a truer version of ourselves. Really recommend this book. Happy Family Literacy Day.
Hi, it's Sue at the Ingersoll Library. I just wanted to share a book I've just really been enjoying. I'm not right through it yet, but I'm learning so much about the Danish way of life, and it's a way to travel, really right now through the book. And the premise of the story is it's a woman and her husband, they're British from London, and he gets a job with Lego, so they decide to move to Denmark for a year. And it's their whole journey there and their whole acclimatizing to the customs. And some of the customs I really like is they're very much into recycling, and they hope to be waste free by 2050, which I think is a very good goal. Their taxes are much higher than ours. They're taxed at 50%, but they're touted as being the happiest country in the world because basically the whole foundation is on trust there. Everyone trusts each other, and they really rely on hygge for coziness in their homes. They believe that happiness begins at home, and they make them comfortable and stylish. They like really nice, well-made furniture, and but they don't really. There's no hierarchy of income levels there. Like everybody's created equal. If you make more money, you just pay more taxes. So that's not something people really aspire to. So anyways, it's a really interesting book. I'm picking up lots of things from it, and I hope to travel there one day. So take care. I hope you read the book as well.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah McDonald, and I am the Systems Support Librarian for the Oxford County Library, and happy Family Literacy Day. I have a book recommendation for you today, and this is a type of book that I have been really appreciating reading during the COVID pandemic because it lets me experience the world outside of my home a little bit more. So the book that I am recommending today is Magnolia Table by Joanna Gaines. This is a beautiful cookbook with gorgeous pictures. You will want to cook everything from this cookbook. We have this book in our collection, and we also have a number of other cookbooks by Joanna Gaines. So I encourage you to take a cookbook home, try out some recipes, and make something for you and your family for Family Literacy Day.
I work at the Oxford County Library in a few different branches. I'm here today to talk to you about one of my favorite books as a child. It actually was one of the songs that we learned in about grade 3, and it's based on this book right here, This Land Is Your Land. And this book was written by Woody Guthrie, and the artwork in it is by Kathy Jacobson. And it is a fantastic book. Oxford County owns it as a book and CD set, so you can listen to the song as you read the book. This book is the American version. I am going to play for you today the Canadian version of This Land Is Your Land. The words are just slightly different because it pertains to Canada instead of the United States. So this song only has 3 chords. It has the F chord, the C chord, and the G7. The C chord, you're going to take your 3rd finger and you're going to put it on the 1st string in the 3rd fret. All right, and the G7 chord, you're going to take your 1st finger and you're going to put it on the 2nd string on the 1st fret. You're going to take your 2nd finger, you're going to put it on the 3rd string on the 2nd fret. And your third finger you're going to take and put on the first string, the second fret. All right, and then the F chord, you're going to take your first finger and you're going to put it on the second string in the first fret. And you're going to take your second finger and you're going to put it on the top string on the second fret. All right, so we will post the song as we do this. All right, so we start out with 4 C's and then G7s and then 4 more C's. This land is your land, this land is my land, from Buena Vista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to the Great Lake waters. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from Buena Vista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to the Great Lake waters. This land was made for you and me. All right, so there's 2 more verses, but you get the idea. So have fun with that song and enjoy. Thank you.